cool. It's worth it. Now we can start spending money. We can now that is, let's start making the product. Let's start making that idea. Now, I'm a product developer mainly. And in product development, I do offer services. So, from my perspective, and this has always been an argument, that products and services are completely different, but I can, generally put services as a product. And as I go to offer my services, I'm pretty much offering a product, right? Yes, it can be multiplied, but it's usually because of a human that's in there. So you got to take that in perspective. But a product and service are one and the same from my perspective. Others, they can't see it otherwise. They are totally different, and they believe that they must go separate business routes in terms of what to do. No, selling something is selling something. There's the same things you have to do, whether you're doing a service or a product. Now here, there is a perspective that I am making a product. I don't think because we're developing a product that services don't get developed. So I'll start with first on how to develop a product, and that is do your research. You did a little bit in the idea section on as to whether it existed or not, right? And if it doesn't, or something else exists but not quite yours, you can utilize that. That's why I said keep a running list. Now you can have your idea. What did you find that already exists? And you're going to design it. Sketch it out. Like you see at the bottom screen here, sketch it out. You may not be a best sketcher, best drawer or artist. Do something. A crappy sketch is better than no sketch. You have to write it down. You have to put it on paper. And as soon as you write it down on paper, then you're going to realize, well, okay, it's not as bad, or, oh, it sucks. Then you could refine it and figure out how you refine it. You cannot revise sketches inside your head. You can't revise the plan or even do the plan inside your head. All of this must be written down, sketched out, designed out, whether you sketch it or, like me, I like to collage it. I will go on Google Images, do a little search for something that's like it, image search, grab an image that looks close like it, and I'll copy that into my sketchboard. I like to use Google Draw. So the Google suite, and again, I'm not, I use Google. I don't, they're not a supporter of me or what have you. As a millennial, Google has my whole life, really. Like half the internet is Google. All right, great product. You can follow the lead on that one. But I use Google Draw. And Google Draw, I could copy in an image and place the image there. And I could copy in another image of something, the other feature that I needed with it. And I could start collaging them together to create a nice little sketch. And then I can print that out and sketch over top of that. And just to get that, you're just trying to, on the written world, capture an idea. And there's multiple ways to do it. If you have a friend that can draw, ask them. If you're an engineer like I am, I can jump right on a computer and design it in some type of 3D design software, Creo, Pro E, SolidWorks. You can do that if you know how. There are a lot of YouTube videos to help you to draw or sketch or to design on the computer or design in paint or anything. But you need to get that down on paper. Once you get it down on paper, you generally know how it looks, got the pieces. And if this is maybe an assembly, so now you got all the subcomponents, list everything out. Now, how are we going to make it in real life? Are we going to do it ourselves, or are we going to outsource it? Now, that is a very, very big question that only the entrepreneur can answer. And you're going to have to do a little bit of research on it. Now, if I were to do it myself, the good part, the benefit is that I could get a whole lot more prototypes at a lower cost, right? Because I'm making it myself. I could do a whole bunch of prototypes. Or I can outsource it. And they're going to charge me the total price for every prototype. If I need to, I have it this way and I send it to them, they send me back a prototype and I use it. Oh man, this one feature I needed to change because it breaks or something. So now you got to go back to the drawing board, fix that feature or make an adjustment. Now you got to get another prototype. Now I got to pay full price for it because I didn't make it. So that adds up. I used to work for the oil field, and a guru who worked in the oil field, R&D, for more than 40 years. He retired. He was my first boss in R&D, not in this just engineering, but specifically research and development, meaning we're creating stuff from new. We're starting from just an idea on paper that a customer potentially wants, and we got to create that. And we're going to go through a series of prototypes, meaning we're going to get it wrong in the beginning and then fix something until it breaks and fix something and something may break and we fix something until the final product. He said, you're going to go through about 20 prototypes. I didn't believe him at the time. Come to find out, it's about right. You will be surprised how many iterations you are going to go through. You're going to go through a lot of prototypes. And from my perspective, as a inventor, entrepreneur, who's not made of money and I don't have a rich network, doing it myself was my best bet. For 20 prototypes, I can get for the price of one if I had the machines, if I had the tools, if I had the materials, and I had the know-how, I could do it myself. Versus if I had to pay to outsource it, and they're going to charge me a crazy price on every prototype. Now, that's one of the most important parts. That is where those companies that you see doing commercials, that's where they get you. Because you submit the first idea, which may not be the final thing, and they'll help you do that, give it back to you. You'll be like, oh, well, this isn't really what I wanted. And you've already spent tens of thousands of dollars. Now you got to go through that cycle again to get a better product, to get a good revision. And they're going to hit you in another 10,000 and then another 10,000 until you get the final prototype. And most people don't make it. And that's a problem. Now, if you go through the prototype, let me maximize the slide here. If you go through the prototype, you also have to be wary. If you outsource it, are they going to steal it? If I do it myself, I know all the details in making it. If I do it myself, I know all the details on the recipe, what it takes to produce it, the machines, the tools. I know the quality. I know the time it takes to actually produce one fast with a good quality or slow with a good quality or okay quality. I know all the details of making this product if I do it myself. If you outsource it, that person you give it to, they know everything about your product on how to make it. Meaning if you don't pay them or if you don't do anything, well, they have all of the information to take it themselves, produce it themselves without you. That is how entrepreneurs get robbed. Inventors get robbed. If you don't know how to do it yourself, you run that risk when you got to pay somebody to do it for you, well, you're giving it to them. And how to not have that happen, your best bet is to never have one manufacturer produce the whole product. You can have them produce a part, a component, and then you can assemble it on your side. Therefore, everybody you work with, your vendors, they don't know what you're working with until after the fact. And that's how you can protect yourself. Other than that, get your patents, you get your lawyers, you get all of them involved. And that's the next step. But here, we're producing prototypes, and you don't want to get ripped off at the prototype. You haven't even gone down the business cycle yet. But you could potentially get ripped off by a high-producing, already existing manufacturing company just off of this step by sharing too much information about your prototype to a manufacturer to make for you, and they may just steal it. Be careful. Now, the price for producing yourself versus outsourcing for different products, for different machines. In the beginning, it may be a bit expensive for one person to buy all the tools needed to do it yourself. And that I understand. That is a caveat. Um, this is an entrepreneur's choice. Do you want to spend a whole bunch of money buying machines, tools, and possibly paying somebody, to work in your garage or in a lab along with yourself to produce it, or spend a whole lot of money for somebody else? Either way, that price is high. And high quality at a low price is what you want. So for a product to sell, what I have learned is that nobody wants a low quality product. So you must present and deliver a high quality product and at a low price. And that has to be built into the prototype. So as you're making your prototype, you have to think about, well, you don't want it to be a crappy thing. It has to be a high quality, and how I manufacture it needs to drive, like, it needs to be the lowest price. If you, right from the beginning on this product, figure out a way to produce and manufacture that idea at the highest quality, at the lowest price, you're going to keep out all of the competition. And you can do that right at the prototyping stage because you're thinking about that right from the beginning. So let's say you're on prototype number 1 and like, yes, it's going good, but man, it's a little bit expensive. People are willing to buy it, but let's see if you can make it cheaper. That should be your next idea, so that on prototype number 3 or 4, it is cheaper. Now you have an even better product, a better value to offer your customer. And it's better to do that at the prototyping stage, at the development stage, than offering it to your customer, finding out the customer thinks it's too expensive and you can't make it cheaper. Now you have to go all the way back to the development stage when you've already done all the marketing and selling and everything to find out that problem. So that's why I'm here, to give you this in the beginning rather than at the end. So moving on, still on the same slide, but some information on the prototype. First prototype must satisfy the needs of just the idea, right? This is proof of concept. Can it be done? And with that first prototype, you're going to offer it to friends and family, of course, right? And you're going to sell it to them if you can. Now, there is nothing, and I repeat, there is nothing wrong with selling the prototype. That should be your goal. The first prototype may be the crappiest prototype. It may be something, but your ultimate goal is to sell the product. And if you can't sell the prototype, well, it's going to let you know some things. Why isn't that sellable? And that should go into the next prototype, right? Even more so, get used to selling something. That's the whole point. If you're afraid, if you just, hey, I just want you to see my idea. Yeah, everybody's willing to see it. Can you sell it? You must become and that's later on, but I'm trying to, drive it in right at the beginning. You are an entrepreneur. You're an inventor. You are a product maker, product developer. Get used to selling your idea. Get used to selling yourself, and get used to selling your product. So right at the beginning, you have a prototype. Try and sell it. There's a difference between, yeah, I like it when you present it versus, yeah, I'll buy it. And, oh, you're willing to buy it? Okay, let me take some money. How serious are you? Now, that is important information to get right at the prototyping stage. And there's nothing wrong with that. I encourage you to do that. Try and sell it. Don't just get their feedback. Try and get their dollars. And if you can't get their dollars, at minimum, get their feedback. All right? Get used to taking money for your products. Now, I'm not saying take the money, what have you, but get used to selling and accepting dollars for your value, especially if this is your first idea. A lot of people, they don't realize that they're not used to accepting money. So they're just expecting people to just throw money out there. No, nobody's going to throw money at you. Well, If your product is a high need, like, yeah, they may throw money at you and you still need to get used to accepting that. But if you really got to sell it, don't expect people to just throw money. I know you think this is a most perfect idea. Most people think it's, yeah, I buy products every day. It's just another product that I have to spend on. They're not throwing their money at the other products. Why would they throw money at you? So you're going to have to sell it a bit and learn to accept the money from them, meaning you're going to have to ask for it, right? You're going to have to request it, right? And after that, on the prototype section, you're going to do a lean startup method. I know you've heard about the lean startup. I am an advocate of the lean startup method. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an engineer, everybody like to say a perfectionist, what have you. And it took years to get over that until I learned the lean startup. And yes, read the book, The Lean Startup. And going through that, he is a product developer, developing software. And there's nothing more harmful than an entrepreneur trying to sell a product, but he's trying to perfect the product without the end user feedback. What does that mean? Meaning, if I'm not the perfect customer, why am I trying to satisfy my own criteria on this perfect product? I very well may be wasting my own time by perfecting something, getting these features that the real customer may not even care about. And that's the difference. So what the lean startup teaches, if you do not know, is to get out there early. First prototype. You're trying to get customers. Don't wait until, we got a first prototype. All right, let's perfect it. Second, let's perfect it before offering it to the customer, or at least getting a customer involved. When I say customer, not friends and family, but the actual, friends and family, yes. Strangers, yes. But ultimately, the real customer. You're trying to get to them as fast as possible. The faster you get to them, the faster they will give you real feedback on your product or on your idea, on your intellectual property that you're offering. They will give you feedback on it, saying, yeah, whether it's, yeah, I like it, yeah, I need it, or yeah, it could use some work. You need to get that sooner than later. When I say sooner than later, meaning you don't want to put too much money into something that may not necessarily sell, or even worse, the end customer doesn't really want. They may kind of want the general idea, but you went a different direction. But if you get to them early, well, their feedback will help you get to the better prototype. It'll help you get to the final product faster, because you, by yourself, as the inventor, you have no idea what your real customer truly wants, because you're not them. You are the creator. Take yourself out of that position. And you can't truly put yourself in their position, but you have to get to them, get them in that position and get that real feedback. The only way to do that, get your first prototype, get it to the market as fast as possible. Do not delay. The faster you get out the gate, the better it is for you. And moving on to the second prototype, right? Now we're at the second prototype. You've already got your first prototype. You got it out. You're trying to sell it. You get your feedback. Now, second prototype must satisfy the needs of the idea. Now you could sell to distant friends and strangers, and that's a real market test. But with this one, you're going to let it simmer a little bit. On a second prototype, especially on different products, you're not going to learn some flaws until the customer uses it over a long period of time. For my product, it's a very usable product, but I didn't learn a flaw about it. I didn't learn that it had a flaw until 3 months after me wearing it. So here's how it went. I had the first prototype. I start selling it, right? People love it. But what you don't know, how does it wear down? What are the long term, after the person is using it, long period of time, consistently, what are the after effects on that? When you do your testing inside the laboratory, most of the time it's on the best case scenario. It's on the, I just printed out this part, I just machined this part, so I'm using the best part. And if something goes wrong, I get a brand new part. See, I can, when you do it yourself, you can get a whole bunch of brand new parts very easy and quickly. But what you don't get is what is the wear and tear on that part or that product over time by the customer, in which at some point in time, it failed on me. And it failed as I was trying to sell another customer. Now it looks bad, right? But it is something that you want to know. So going back to the second prototype, test it over a long period of time before you jump into the third prototype, right? Because you may find out something. Don't just go, right if you find out first thing, jump right into the third prototype. No, let it go. You may find 10, 12, 20 different things you need to add to the third prototype. So test that second prototype over a long period of time. 3 months, you're going to monitor it, know everything about it, right? And then you put that in the third prototype. The third prototype is what I call most of the time the minimal valuable product. Some people call it the minimum, but it is the least you can sell a customer on that they're willing to buy. For example, if I don't have a product around here, but if I have a product and I'm offering it to you, let's say it has some of the features I want, but not all of them. Am I still willing to put my money in it? For example, a shirt, t-shirt. Matter of fact, no, let's do a car. You have a car. How many features from your car could somebody take from it? If it didn't have a stereo, if it didn't have power steering, would you still buy it? So the least thing is what you're looking for that customer to buy from you. And you want to get that. Usually because it takes a whole lot more money to get that final with all the bells and whistles product, right? It's going to take a lot more money to get there. So if you're looking for investments or you don't have it, well, you're trying to get that money in, that revenue in, which will capitalize making the new features. And if the customer doesn't want those features, then you may not even get there. So that's why a minimal value product is good, because you're going to see what's the minimal you can enter the market, as well as what does the customer truly want after that. Because they themselves, once they buy it, if I got the minimal value, so the base level model of the vehicle, okay, you got me on a sale on that. Then from there, after working with me or the customer, you'll start to know what more do they want. Is it the power windows or another feature that they truly want next, right? And you're going to, of course, get that from a more than one person, a group, a focus group per se, but either way, a large number of people, and you will be able to get the most wanted or the most needed, the most admired features or benefits from that. And that's essentially where prototype 3 is. It's the minimal you can offer the market without having to add all the extras. No extras. That's not what you want, because that's the core. And if you can figure out that core and get customers in on that core, then as you add in new features, it's no problem. It'll be a much easier sell when you have them already. And that's what the Lean Startup teaches, and I follow, so I am giving that to you as well. So after third prototype, you should be already selling, right? And I'm not saying selling a whole bunch. No, just the initial sales. You're not looking at selling the hundreds. You're a dozen, maybe. And I'm not saying that you're in business at that point in time. No, these are validation sales. You are validating the market. That is a good thing, because if you can't validate the market, there's no point spending money on the packaging. There's no point spending money on marketing and the rest of the stuff. On just the product, the problem, and the solution alone should be able to get you some dollars. And that will be validating the solution that you have, the product. I am Sharon Cuttersmooth EP Digital, helping inventors, product developers who are having difficulties producing their ideas, making their ideas, and selling their ideas. This is entrepreneurism, nerdpreneurism at its finest to get you from your idea to your dollars. Sharon Cutter Smooth EP Digital. That is everything today. Please like, please subscribe, please share. If I have taught you anything, if you've learned something and you want to learn something in the future, like, share, and stay tuned. Visit the website. We got a lot of good stuff. And let us know what you think. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll talk to you later. Peace be upon you all.